You're listening to the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Now it's time for our host, Kate Manson.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 98 of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxon, your host, here with you, along with my lovable brother, Aaron. You know,
Why am I waving? We're on a podcast.
In honor of Owen Hart. My lovable brother, Owen. This is my lovable brother, Aaron, Mr. Kyle Army, and Mr. Archie Mitchell. Welcome to the show, guys. What is going on out there tonight?
Careful. Aaron's going to kick your knee out from your knee.
Kick my leg out from my leg.
I kicked your leg out from your leg.
This week's show, we are going to talk about WWF SummerSlam 1992 from London, England, here in just a moment, and much, much more coming up. But right now, before we start the show, normally I do shameless plugs at the beginning of the show, but for this week's show, I wanted to do something special. My son graduated this week, Aaron's nephew.
Congratulations.
And I want to dedicate this show. This is our only shameless plug for episode 98, the shameless plug for Good Job Class of 2020, the most unique graduating class in American history, and you did it on quarantine. So congratulations to Class of 2020 in the United States.
Congratulations, Class of 2020.
Good
You
job.
may want to give a shit about Sean, so all you other kids,
You guys made it through this. You can make it through anything.
That's
Without
right.
a doubt. Without a
Yes,
doubt.
absolutely.
Because we might not make it through this.
Yeah, we might not make it through this. But
yeah, you fuckers best get through this shit because my social security and shit is riding on you motherfuckers.
That's cute that you actually think that some of us are going to make it to social.
yeah. It's like you fuckers best be successful or I'm going to be eating goddamn fancy feast out of a fucking little can.
I thought you were going to say you're going to be eating ramen noodles. I'm like, Aaron, you do that now.
Yeah, I do that now. Ramen noodles are pricey.
They are pricey. Okay, let's settle this right now. Why in the world do they ever make a shrimp flavor of ramen noodles?
Why did they make an Oriental flavor, which is not really known what the flavor is?
and what does that even mean?
Right.
It means tasty. The Oriental ramen noodle is tasty.
The Oriental ramen noodles are white and suspicious looking, Aaron.
Much like Aaron.
Or we.
No, by suspicious I mean they're too white looking, if you know what I mean. They don't look right.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Shout out to David Gold for sending me a package of those in a mystery box one time.
I'm impressed by all of us. None of us did a Chinese accent.
Yes, because we...
Ruh-roh.
There it goes.
There we go. Yeah.
none of us could be more racist than about the Japanese than Mr. Fuji at WrestleMania 7. So,
Nope.
I think what does he say? Great Jap warriors or something like that about the team of Tenryu and Katal. But anyway,
well, Hogan
Speaking
kind
the
of
truth.
topped that at 9. Because
yeah, you're right. He did.
He says, "I'm going to go beat the Jap or something," and it's like, what? Wait, really? Poor Yokozuna's sitting there going, "I'm Samoan."
Yeah,
What do you
the
mean?
fuck?
But,
And Hogan's like, I'm a real American. I mean, I can only
Rick.
speak.
They cut up to Todd Pettengill. He's talking to the two Japanese guys. They're like, "Oh, Yokozuna."
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah,
And they have
Yokozuna.
like gigantic cameras.
It's like, oh, no.
And then they further racist in a King of the Ring when a Japanese cameraman blew fire in Hulk Hogan's face. Like, what? What happened
What is
here?
going on?
Let's talk about that now. When have you ever seen a camera guy get up on the the ring and it's on
Right.
Hulk Hogan?
He wanted an
dumbass.
action shot. He needed that close, and Hogan
You
was
can't
like,
come in
"Yeah,
late,
let me
Kyle.
show you.
Kyle,
Look, I'm Hogan."
you can't come in
you
late,
know?
buddy. You should have showed up for the WrestleMania 9 show.
I know. What can I say?
You can't pack it in late, fucker.
Fair enough. I like
Fair
that.
enough.
Before we
That's my
get
two ex-wives. Why? Moving on.
Heyo! Before we
Oh.
get to the before we get to SummerSlam 1992, we were talking briefly before we went on the air about the Owen Hart Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes.
I have not watched it yet. Full disclosure.
The show is very well done. And Kyle, you were making a point, and we said, well, okay, let's start recording so we can make this point here.
We have all heard from time and time again about how, what they had him hooked up to. It took, I think the thing we've heard is it took 6 pounds of pressure, less than what pulls a gun, trigger on a gun. And that's all well and fine. And it doesn't really sink in until you see the actual hook.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see how much pressure it takes for Martha just
Yep. Yeah, she didn't even touch it.
Holy shit. Like, that is what it was. Like, that's... Like, how in the hell did that ever even get past anything? Like...
Mm-hmm. And it's like she said, I mean, it was a company trying to do it on the cheap. And after watching that document, I'm sure, I mean, Aaron probably already agrees with me. Yeah, I know he's the one that hasn't seen it yet. But after watching that show, I totally understand his family's point that, I mean, WWE just keep his name out of your mouths. Your negligence.
It's not just WWE. She don't want any wrestling because she doesn't want him to be remembered as a wrestler. Which, after hearing what his children and she went through, you know what? Fuck wrestling. It doesn't need to be mentioned with Owen Hart in it because he doesn't just have to be a wrestler.
Exactly.
And see, I don't want to speak to what was on the documentary because I haven't watched it yet, but I've said that for the longest time. Would I love to see Owen Hart get put into the Hall of Fame and watch like Brett, whoever, go up and accept it? Yeah, that would be cool to see. But from day one of the conversation of him going in, I've always said that if his family,
right,
not his brother, not his sister,
his wife and
his wife and kids, if they aren't willing to accept it,
right,
then it shouldn't even be a fucking conversation.
Right.
And do I understand, like Brett or whoever saying, "Oh yeah, I wish my brother was in the Hall of Fame." I understand that. Okay? And I'm not trying to discount, and I'm not trying to discount anything anybody else thinks about it, but to these people, that's their husband, that's their dad.
Yep.
And did professional wrestling kill their father? No. Professional wrestling didn't kill Owen Hart, but he died in that situation, and he died working for that company. So if they don't want that, then it shouldn't happen.
Well, when you watch this documentary, you will realize that company did kill him. Their negligence killed him. Their negligence and being cheap killed him. That's what killed him.
Which at that time they were winning the ratings, so they shouldn't have been cheap.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, at that point in time, Vince McMahon 6 months later was about to boast about how, he bought WCW. You understand what I'm saying, Nate?
Yeah.
He's not that far along from saying I'm a billionaire now. Well, then why the hell did you cheap out?
Well, yeah, I mean, less than a year from when that happened is when they went public,
right,
on the stock market.
So
yeah, definitely.
Like I told Kyle, they painted Vince. I know Vince McMahon's an asshole, but they painted him out to be a bigger asshole as well. Maybe it's deserved though, because he was pretty damn heartless in regards to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, the documentary itself kind of made me change my opinion on wanting, because I've always been one of those guys that wanted to see. And
we all have.
Wanted to see Owen in the Hall of Fame, but now I totally don't look at Martha as vindictive or holding anybody up.
I've never thought she was vindictive. Never thought it.
Why is she so upset with his wrestling career? And then you come to find out it's because she's tried to make him more of a wrestler. She wants him to be remembered for the good person he was.
Right.
God bless her. If that's what she wants him to be remembered as, then that's the way he should be remembered.
There's a line she says that she said there's more than enough in this world that has his name on it for him to be remembered by.
Exactly.
His kids.
Well, yeah, and then the Owen Hart Foundation and you know, I gotta say, I don't think the Martha Hart ever remarried or anything. I think she pretty much. There's a tough woman right there. She's a doctor now, and to raise 2 kids and take on.
Well, that's the beauty of the foundation is that it helps out single mothers like she was, you know.
And let's face it, after what happened, she could have went and crawled up into a bowl and died if she wanted to, because her husband plummeted to his death. But she stayed strong, and then on top of that, during all the damn lawsuits that she had to do to get any money out of Vince McMahon, the Hart family was actually sitting there fighting her.
Yeah.
And going, well, don't make too much trouble because we might want to go get a job back with Vince sometime in the future. What? He just killed your brother.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I always heard the Hart family was kind of weird. That documentary brought it more out for me.
They're like Canadian white trash to me. They're like Canadian hillbillies. Like if you
slightly, yeah.
Read Brett's book. If you haven't ever read Brett's book, read Brett's autobiography about
Brett's autobiography. Honestly, Brett's autobiography is actually the best wrestling book ever.
See, I like Foley's first book.
I like Foley's first book too, but Brett's is fantastic.
Because there are some lines in Foley's first book, like I tried to fire the mother, but the mother wouldn't fire.
And, yeah. Foley's is funnier. Foley's is funnier, but Brett's is a goddamn good book.
Just think about this with Stu Hart, is that people came to his house and went down the dungeon, and they pretty much just had to lay there and let Stu just beat the shit out of them.
Right.
I mean, there just was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You just
the cats are.
Let me have your hand real quick. They're like, no, I don't want you to.
While the cats are walking around shitting on the floor, there's a story in Brett's book about how his mom's making pancakes or something, and one of the cats shits on the floor. She takes the spatula she's making the pancakes with.
Oh, that's Stu.
Oh, is it Stu? I thought it was Martha.
And it's not in Brett's book. That's in Dynamite's book, which Dynamite Kid, Bret Hart said the Dynamite Kid's book was bullshit. But Dynamite Kid had a good book, too. But he talked about how Stu was making breakfast, and he was, like, flipping the eggs, and the cat, like, climbed up, took a shit, and Stu, like, flicked the cat shit off of the stove, and then just went back to flipping the eggs. And Dynamite's like, hey,
that's a little off-putting.
you gonna keep flipping the eggs with the spatula you just flipped the cat shit with? And Stu's like, hey, protein.
How do you think we breed champions here?
Yeah,
and Brett was like, oh. And then Brett came out and said, hey, Dynamite, you shouldn't tell those stories. It's like, well, no, your dad flipped a fucking spatula with cat shit. Maybe he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and you didn't want to call him out on it because he'd be like, let's go down to the basement and I'll stretch you. Be like, I'm just telling you that there's poop on the freaking spatula. Why do you have to beat me up? Damn.
And you're a little brain dead.
Yeah. Which was funny because when you go back and you listen to like Sean being like, oh, Stu Hart's dead, just walking around. And they cut to him, he's like, all right. Like, fuck. Yeah, he's standing there with a blank look on his face like.
And see, I'm the bad one, and that's what Kyle just did.
I would do it, though. I'm not the one that...
Nate, we're off the rails
immediately.
Yeah, it's all right. That's what we do.
That's what we do. We usually take an hour, though.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault that they picked on poor Stu Hart.
All right, so this week's main topic on this edition of the We Can't Wrestle podcast is SummerSlam 1992. We're all talking, it happened August 29th, 1992. Aired August 31st. from Wembley Stadium in London, England. Wikipedia says attendance 80,355, disputed.
Yeah, and that's my thing.
well,
Like,
fuck.
why do people? When I say people, I mean Dave fucking Meltzer, the goddamn caveman lawyer looking motherfucker. Like, why does he feel the need and have this hard on for Vince McMahon's attendance figures?
Well, they do pump up the attendance, Kyle, because of Aaron, because the night it aired, I believe they said 92,000 on TV during the pay-per-view. So,
But either way, like,
well, I mean,
like
you're
Vince
trying to
McMahon
claim
could be
that
like
you broke records.
Vince McMahon right now could be like there were 5 people there, and Dave Meltzer would be like, I don't know, there
Looked like 3.
there looked like 3. Yeah, it's like, fuck you, Dave Meltzer. You were fucking there. You don't know how many people were there, you piece of shit.
So one brother hates Kenny Omega, and the other brother hates Dave Meltzer.
I don't hate Dave Meltzer. I just don't like him.
I
That
like.
wasn't hate.
I don't like
See,
Dave Meltzer
my
either.
thing, my thing about Meltzer, okay, and this is where I will give Wade Keller a little more credit than Dave Meltzer, even though they're both dirt sheet guys, so they only know what somebody who's probably working them is telling them, because they're not in the business. They never have been. But one thing I'll give Keller over Meltzer is Keller tries to present the news in a somewhat unbiased fashion, whereas Meltzer is just like Meltzer treats the WWE like CNN treats Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I don't like him, but you can watch CNN and see their agenda, you know, and that's how I look at Meltzer. Meltzer has a lot of fake news when it comes to the WWF.
Here's my problem with Dave Meltzer. Is you're going to sit here and give a 5-star rating to the first Hell in a Cell match. It didn't even have a fucking ending.
Yeah,
It was
and
a
then
non-finish. How the fuck is that 5 stars?
You are talking about some non-finishes.
Well, I'll say this is
This fucking
WWF
show.
in 1992.
So we open up with a great pan of the crowd, and Wembley Stadium looked really cool that night. And I remember as not a little dude, I guess I was a teenager by this point, but I was pretty jacked about this show. I mean,
What I saw from this was apparently fucking British people love horns. They fucking love horns. Because that fucking beginning of the show, after all the people talk, the fucking people are like there's this group and they're like, burr, 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 and they're playing some horns and shit, and then everybody's like, yeah!
Well, if you ever watch soccer, I mean, it's...
the British Bulldog's going to win whether he wants to or not.
And that's the other thing I took from these fans is that I wish, I kind of wish, I got dogs barking. I kind of wish that I would have been like little Aaron, but living in Britain, because apparently in Britain, girls like wrestling.
Paige is the living proof of that.
Because in this opening, there's like some chicks. They're like, "Oh, Bulldog's gonna win." No, we like Bret Hart. And then there's some good looking chicks, and they're like, "We like Shawn Michaels." And be like, "I like Shawn Michaels too." Touch my wiener.
I'll be your sexy boy, please.
Yeah, please just touch my wiener.
I'll put on some assless chaps. I'll do it.
Touch my twigs and berries.
Yeah.
Nate,
Because in fucking North End, Toledo, there were no chicks watching wrestling. It was just me and Nate.
But there were guys wearing assless chaps.
Yeah, but it was just me and Nate watching wrestling. But over in
Nate-
Britain, the fucking pretty chicks were watching wrestling.
Nate, the thing that always bothered me about that opening with that kid that goes to the British Bulldog's going to win whether he wants to or not, that kid was American. Who the hell took that kid to Britain? Okay?
It wasn't his stupid haircut.
Who took that kid to Britain? Because he was not smart at all.
Before they started doing it all the fucking time, now with WrestleMania always being in the stadium, there's something special about outdoor shows.
Yes.
Yes,
You don't get to see them
absolutely.
very often. And
No, that's-
I don't know.
This fucking SummerSlam looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It
I love-
looks fantastic.
The thing I always thought was coolest about outdoor shows, whether it be or especially stadium shows, whether it be as you're watching WrestleMania 3 or you're watching SummerSlam 92, it's really cool to watch the show and watch it progress from daylight to dark.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's just the main event part.
It's a blessing and a curse, though. See, at SummerSlam 92, the way the lights dimmed and everything, and went as it got from daytime to dusk to pitch black, was great. You go back to a couple of WrestleManias ago when they were in an outdoor stadium. Bray Wyatt's making his spooky-looking entrance, but it's still sunny
daylight
right out.
Yeah, and the problem with that was they were in California. If they would have been in MetLife or something like that,
right,
the timing would have been good. But yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
So it depends on where you are when it comes to an outdoor stadium.
This
So for those-
show is motherfucking undercover Nate's favorite fucking show.
Why do you say that?
Because you've put it on here a couple times, bro.
Well, I like this show. I really like the WWF from 1991 to 1993. It has a special
I
place.
know you do, but
in my heart.
this particular show is undercover your favorite show.
All right. Well, no, my favorite pay-per-view
It's undercover your favorite show.
Canadian Stampede's my favorite pay-per-view, but this one's definitely top 5.
Yeah, I mean, and what a hell of a pay-per-view for it to be, because, I mean, you look up and down this, it's
pretty butt under down.
I don't know.
I'll say this: it's one of only of its kind, meaning it's the only other pay-per-view like in the Big Four that have ever been out of the United States. They've never done this again.
They need to.
Okay, well, I have notes.
They should.
It's pretty butt.
So, okay, listen, hold on. For those that are listening to the podcast, which will be episode 98, we are recording this live in our Facebook group. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, join it. What are you waiting for, as Aaron would say? Or Aaron would say, what are you fucking
idiot?
Yeah.
Are you a fucking idiot?
Yeah.
So if we comment on anybody's comments, that's what they're doing. They're watching us record this show live.
And
If
you
you
could be
comment on somebody's comment,
and you could be watching us record it live as well if you were just a part of the fucking Facebook group.
Yeah.
Right.
Get off your ass.
And you know it's
5
you know
seconds.
it's important when Kyle's dropping an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Nate,
Come on.
Nate, I want a shirt with Aaron on the front that says, "Why aren't you a fucking member?" And then when you flip to the front, it's me going. And when you flip to the back, it's me going, "Yeah."
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Not only do you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to see, have great, there's a lot of fun stuff on there, but also, there's giveaways. Also, Aaron is always doing watch parties.
Yep.
We had an awesome watch party the other night where we watched Bash of the Beach 1996.
that was successful as fuck, and it was because of me
It was.
and some of you people.
It was
That was
because of
cool.
him. We had a giveaway during that watch party too. We had 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit's
Yes,
in
sir.
the mail, bitches.
All right, so we open up the pay-per-view with a great commentary team, Vince McMahon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Vince with his wonderful bouffant, and Bobby being Bobby, man.
Yeah, he put on the crown. It was fucking fantastic.
You know what? There's never... Bobby Heenan is a guy that I've never said anything negative about.
Well, what
Like,
could you
nope.
say negative
Right.
about?
Well, I mean, you look up and down wrestling, and there's almost everybody, other than a select few people, I can say, man, I didn't really like that, or I didn't like this, or I didn't like this. You can't say that about Heenan.
Bobby Heenan is
He's a total
in
package.
the top 5 funniest fucking people that's ever lived. It's like Bobby Heenan, Rodney Dangerfield, Bill Burr, George Carlin, and
Kyle
Johnny
threw his
Carson.
beer bottle.
Yeah.
Kyle looked like he was going to hurl his beer bottle at us.
Sorry.
I think Archie just left. Where did Archie go?
David Gold complimented your burp, Aaron. He said, "Good Lord, that was a hell of a burp."
Hell. Sorry, I lost.
I tried.
Kyle put his beer bottle on the screen and it kicked me off the room.
Yeah.
What did you do, man?
Oh, God. I'm a freaking mess.
I looked up and it looked like you were going to chuck it at us. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I think I ducked and ran out of the room. I don't know what happened.
Okay. I lost connection there for a minute. This should help a little bit.
So are you? Can you hear everybody?
He looks crisper than he did before.
I know. I look.
He's not wearing a Snuggie anymore.
So our opening match here at SummerSlam '92 is Money Incorporated versus the Legion of Doom. If you ever noticed back in the day, everybody, if they were going to unveil a new look or new garb,
Yeah, DiBiase's fucking white suit was poop.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
And it wasn't the first time he wore a white suit, but this time he was adorned in gold, and it made it just pop.
It was a pimp suit,
Without a doubt.
but I did not like LOD's fucking pads. I didn't like it.
I didn't like the whole storyline behind LOD at this time.
Oh,
clean LOD is terrible.
The Rocco
Yeah,
thing.
I mean,
Yeah, the
Especially
Rocco
with
thing
their
was
fucking
awful.
Muppet.
Yeah,
The Legion of Doom. The Legion of Doom is an act that was much better off in the NWA than they were in the WWF. Because, and here's my reasoning for that. I don't even know that it is. Tom Pruitt says, "What's up, fellas?" And of course, David Gold says, "DiBiase is the GOAT." Here's my thing. I don't even know that it's necessarily that they were misused in WWF. But the thing to me about LOD, if I watched that back then, is you had the WWF was already the land of giants. The WWF already had unbeatable monsters, et cetera, whereas in the NWA, these guys were kind of one of a kind. They go into the WWF, and they're just kind of two other big guys that are there, you know? And I think that hurt them going into the WWF because they just couldn't be as unique as they were in the NWA.
Well, I mean, they could have been as unique as they were. They could have had them go up against maybe had a 6-month feud with Demolition, and actually who was the more powerful of the two teams, but they didn't. I understand what Kyle's saying that clean LOD, but it wasn't just that they were clean because according to Dark Side of the Ring, Hawk was still kind of messed up during this time. They brought back Paul Ellering for no reason, like it wasn't needed at this time. They were already in the WWE without him. And then they brought back the damn puppet, which I didn't even know the puppet existed to begin with.
Rocco.
And
yeah.
It didn't. That was Vince being fucking Vince.
Like how can we make these guys less cool? Give them a fucking puppet. But let them ride out on Harleys. Like, okay, so what?
The Harley thing, it fucking. I even put that on here. Like them coming out on Harleys at fucking SummerSlam was cool.
No, I know that, but didn't they have a puppet sitting
but
on
you
the
put
front
a
fender
stupid
of one?
fucking goddamn
puppet
on it.
And Vince did it because he thought it was funny. He'd be like, ha! Look
Such
at
good shit.
Give him a fucking puppet, pal. That should be a T-shirt. Give him a fucking puppet, pal.
And let's face it, if it wasn't for DiBiase and IRS, this match probably would have been a clusterfuck because Hawk was out of it, and Animal was trying to save it, but he couldn't. So,
and talking about the finish, like it was a weird finish. Like Animal put DiBiase up for the Doomsday Device, and fucking Shyster drop kicked him, and then Animal hit a fucking power slam, and it was like 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's what the Dark Side of the Ring episode shows. Animal says Hawk was too wasted to go to the top rope and deliver the clothesline cleanly
I
without
didn't
killing
watch that.
somebody.
So.
Yeah, he said that if Hawk would have done it, either he would have hurt himself or DiBiase. So he told Hawk, "Don't go up top. We're going to plan a different finish." And he talked to DiBiase secretly and said, "Just let me power slam you and pin you." So,
Probably a smart decision.
and supposedly it was supposed to be them versus the Natural Disasters for the World Tag Team titles. And the match got scraped because Vince realized how drugged out Hawk was leading up to SummerSlam.
Well, and they even alluded to that when during WrestleMania 8, they had LOD come out for that interview, and that was supposed to start the trek to a rematch between LOD and the Natural Disasters, and you see where that went. Right. And then we get the goofy Natural Disasters babyface turn, which we'll get to later in the show. But next we have the Flair interview that has him continuously going, this
or the chick's like, "Are you going to put it in my butt tonight?"
So what did you guys think of the whose corner is Mr. Perfect going to be in storyline?
I would say that if it would have turned into something, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But the ending of it was just flat.
Mm-hmm.
Put this in my notes.
I'm assuming, and I would assume, and I don't know the truth to the matter, but I would assume that the way that this match went down and the finish the way it did, there were probably politics involved.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's look at all the participating parties. I'm sure there were politics involved.
Oh yeah. Savage was probably
this entire fucking show. This entire fucking show, okay, is a house show.
Good call.
Presented as a fucking pay-per-view. It really is. This entire fucking show is presented as a house show. Not presented as a house show. It is a house show presented as a fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, that house show drew 80,000 people, so.
Yeah. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying this pay-per-view is a pay-per-view. It's a house show presented as a pay-per-view. It really is.
Well,
there's 8 matches on this show, and 6 of them have no finish. It's a fucking house show on pay-per-view.
3 of them made no sense being booked.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I agree with Aaron. I wouldn't call it a house show.
I'd agree with me too.
But the next match that we have to call, which is Nails versus Virgil, what the sense did that make? Nails didn't even finish. He didn't even finish his feud with the Big Boss Man. Why was he still around? And he's fighting Virgil.
We had Virgil did an interview, and I wrote down here, I actually had to pay $20 to watch this interview.
Right.
Yeah, I put Sean Mooney interviews cheap ass Virgil. Stupid asshole.
I mean, look, both guys had no damn direction after.
So
Virgil with DiBiase,
we're headed toward Survivor Series 92, where Bossman and Nails have their nightstick match, and
Facebook users like, "What's up, guys?"
SBA says, "What's up, guys?
What's up, SB?"
We are recording episode 98 live on Facebook. So Nails is headed toward his feud with Bossman, and I got to tell you guys, and Aaron knows this because he lived with me, but 13-year-old me, I thought Nails as a character was cool. I liked Nails.
Oh, Nails is cool.
The only and looking back on it now, not being a 13-year-old, the only thing that I think is silly about Nails is that he's still wearing his jumpsuit. I mean, you're right.
That's fine too. But my thing is, Nails versus Virgil shouldn't be on this fucking show.
No, not on SummerSlam.
I'll defend this.
Guys, is Kyle frozen?
No.
Oh, okay. You've been stuck in that one pose for like 2 minutes.
He's just used to doing a show with the two of us blowhards, and he's just like, I'm going to sit back and pick my shots.
See, where fucking Nails and Virgil is at should have been like fucking Razor Ramon versus like Owen Hart.
Listen,
something.
I'm going to defend this, and I'm not going to defend the fact that it's Virgil. Okay, I will never defend Virgil being in a match. However, here's what I will defend.
Look what I got.
I had that autograph.
Did he make you do it?
No, I bought it off of eBay.
You know what's funny?
Now
about
listen,
that?
let me finish this real quick, and then we can. Here's why Virgil, whatever. But to me, okay, we've done the angle where Nails beat the shit out of Boss Man with the nightstick. So obviously, we are pushing Nails as a top heel against one of our top baby faces. So it is important for him, if Boss Man's playing the injury, it's important for Nails to wrestle someone on this pay-per-view and beat them decisively.
And I've never done this with you, Nate, but I will disagree with you. It would have been important for Nails to attack somebody during this show.
And I can see that too.
During a match. He did not need a bona fide match, especially against Virgil. He could have went up against Tito Santana. He could have went up against any other superstar just above Virgil. Because at this time, Boss Man was like right here in between where the Intercontinental title shot might have been. And then you give him Virgil.
Yeah, and Nails just got out of the clink. So how did he get to England?
How did he travel? Man?
For all you fans...
Now, goddamn it, you guys are looking way too deep into pro wrestling.
Look, for all you fans that are listening to the podcast, Aaron, can you bring up the Virgil character again, the action figure? Okay, fans, look this up. Virgil. Okay, this motherfucker has a goddamn gold, lace, fucking case. All right.
Yep.
That's not bad enough. He actually is just like, hey man, put a WWE superstar fucking convention sign for me in there.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here. What? Yep. Come on.
This Nails Virgil match is fucking garbage and should not be on the show.
It's bad, I agree.
I would have, like I said, I would have preferred to see a Razor Ramon, and I'm not even saying Owen Hart, but just Razor Ramon versus anybody.
All right, let's say match. You have to take Nails. Still needs to be a part of this. So who would you have him attack, or who would you have him be in a match with, if not Virgil?
I have to pick somebody for Nails to fight.
Yes,
I would have rather watched Nails fight Coco Beware.
Coco Beware, Tito Santana.
Yeah, I would have preferred to see Coco Beware or Tatanka. And I know that he can't beat Tatanka because Tatanka was going in to his undefeated streak. But
this is
it was a disqualification victory anyway. But fucking Nails versus Virgil is goddamn garbage.
I think that...
And I didn't mean to disrespect the name of
Nails.
Coco Beware.
So next up, we have the Sensational Sherry interview. She's torn between two lovers in this storyline.
Well, no, actually, before that, you get Lord Alfred Hayes that's trying to figure out who is or who Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect are going to be in the corner of, and he's apparently terrible at his job.
He always was.
Especially towards the end.
Promotional consideration.
Checked out towards the end.
Is
promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Alfred Hayes
Lord Alfred Hayes is doing a terrible job.
His ass.
He's got a stick up his ass?
Yeah, he looked like he had he was pissed off at everybody at any given time. He wasn't a face, he wasn't a heel. He just sat there like, I hate you pompous Americans. That's the way he looked.
Well, he had to watch Virgil versus Nails.
Well, yeah, I was
I'd be
just as pissed off.
too.
I was
And he
just
had
as
to
pissed
see-
off.
He had to see fucking Rocco or whatever.
Yeah.
And his modern life.
Thank you, Aaron. I
Now,
was
Nate,
hoping.
I have a question for you because I always get confused.
Mhm.
Rick Martel and Sherry are related, aren't they?
No.
No, they're actually not.
I heard a long
They-
time ago they were like third cousins.
No, I don't think so. I think they just share the name. I mean, I would have to look
At the end of
into
the
it.
day, we're all third cousins. What the fuck?
Look, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sidetrack off of our train of thought here, but
No, go ahead.
speaking of Rocco's Modern Life, do you guys remember that Rocco's Modern Life had an episode where Rocco worked at a sex line?
Yes.
Yeah.
The fuck? There's a lot of that shit. It was like I've been watching Rocco's Modern Life. I fucking love that shit when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Kyle, his dog's name was Spunky.
Yeah, that's like one of those jokes that like they throw in there for like the parents.
for the adults, yeah.
Yeah.
When my kids were growing up, Fairly Odd Parents. They loved Fairly Odd Parents.
That show had so many ugly.
Oh, that was
Absolutely.
delicious.
I would watch it. I didn't mind watching it with them because I knew the jokes were coming.
Right.
You know, I
Fairly
knew,
Odd Parents is a funny show.
But,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
it is.
but when you sit there and you go back and watch it, there's a fucking sign on the wall that says "Be sexy, be friendly." It's like,
during this Shawn Michaels match, okay, which should have been fantastic.
well, and it was
Because
also going to be another Shawn Michaels Marty Jannetty match, but Marty Jannetty, as he always does, got fired because that's what,
the cocaine.
real
Yes.
fucking quick. Let me
So-
tell you something about Marty Jannetty. The fucking goddamn, that's disgusting.
Have
what
you-
he's been doing?
Have you seen what he's been doing, Kyle?
Yes.
Talking about
Sit there-
20-year-olds?
Yeah, being like, oh, does she look like she's safe enough to be with? Motherfucker, you're 50 years old.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
But anyway, in this fucking match, when Shawn Michaels and Sherry come out, Bobby goes, "Oh, I guess moths ate her outfit because her ass is out." And Bobby's like, "Oh, the moths."
I don't
They
care
ate the
if
ass
you
out of
guys
her
disagree or you're not or what. Sherry was one of the most pretty. I had the biggest crushes on Sherry when I was a kid.
I was
that'll let her
not
beat
sure-
me up.
I was
Yeah,
always under the
The
impression
biggest
that
thing I
Sherry-
had wasn't my crush on her. It was my wiener.
Kyle, what were you saying?
I was always like, to me, Sherry was the kind of woman that would like beat you up for bringing home the wrong orange juice.
But
So-
you'd like it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, you'd be like, I'm
Right.
sorry.
Like,
I get the
some
wrong
days-
I'll
bottle.
go get
some
the
days-
wrong orange juice again.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say some days you'd buy the wrong orange juice on purpose.
But-
Concentrate,
Oh, no.
motherfucker! Concentrate.
She's gonna
No.
she's gonna knock my dick into the dirt.
Even the clerk started to realize, sir, are you sure? Sir, are you sure you want the no pope? Yes.
I
Yes.
am. I want to go on the Bruise
15
Cruise
times before,
tonight.
Don't fucking ask me. I told you.
She's gonna knock my nuts around.
No,
It's
but
gonna be
her
fucking fantastic.
outfit was stellar at SummerSlam, and she only surpassed it years later when she used to wear those black leather outfits for Harlem Heat.
Maybe you guys will. Maybe Archie, you'll agree with me. I'm sure Nate and Aaron will. But it was always like Liz was the angel,
Yes,
and Sherry
Yes.
was the devil.
without a doubt. Without
And
a
I
doubt.
want to stick it in the devil's butt.
Speaking of this match, I like the concept of like both participants like we're not going to hit each other in the face.
I liked this match. This was a
This
good match.
was good, but that don't hit him in the face thing kind of hurt a little bit.
But it needed to have some kind of a gimmick like that going into it. Again, like I said, this was kind of a last minute thing because it wasn't what they had planned. And very rarely back then did WWF do two heels, you know, in a
Right.
situation.
Right.
So I think adding that to the mix was a good thing. And of course, Sherry and Michaels and Martel, the three of them, could pull anything off.
Something
You know.
funny happened to this too, because Bobby was like, "Oh, Martel, he's always good with the ladies. And then Bobby was like, Shawn Michaels is good with the ladies. And then Vince was like, what? And then Bobby's like, I'm good with the ladies too. And then Vince goes, yeah, the lady giraffes. Like, I don't know why it made me laugh, but when Vince was like, yeah, the lady giraffes, it's like, what the fuck is that?
My favorite part of the whole match, and it really wasn't part of the match, was when they each try to carry Sherry backstage.
Yep.
And she's faking it, but they keep dropping her because one keeps hitting the other one, so she keeps getting dropped all over the floor. And I'm like, why didn't they try to do that when Hogan was carrying Liz to the back with Macho? That would have been even funnier. You know?
But if you also watch it, when they're like halfway down the aisle, legitimately, Pat Patterson trips and falls on his fucking ass.
Yes.
Falls right on his fucking fat ass.
Do you know what I?
He falls down.
Do you know what? Do you know what I thought when I watched that, Archie? And you brought that up. But what came to my mind when I watched her doing faking, being faint or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know how close Sherry was with Eddie and Vicky Guerrero.
Yes.
I thought about. I was like, did Eddie when he did his, when he'd do his finish where he wasn't out but he'd pretend to be out or what have you? Did he get inspiration from Sherry?
He might have. He might have.
He did.
Because he very much loved her and really looked up to her.
Right.
So
I'm sure they got even closer in WCW when they were both there. So I can see it.
I'm sorry that I keep like taking this off the beaten path here, but you guys brought up Pat Patterson falling and tripping. You know what my favorite trip moment, like fuck up, was? Vince McMahon getting in the ring. And he trips on the fucking
and he breaks
second
both
rope.
legs. He breaks both legs for
No.
reason.
It's I think it's against like Austin or something. He like trips or like stumbles on the rope as he's getting in the ring. He immediately steps up and looks at everyone like, "How dare you fucking boo me? How dare you laugh at me?"
my favorite accidental fall in wrestling history is Viscera at WrestleMania 2000. Because that fucker hits the ground and spreads, man. Like he just.
It's a big
How
fall
about
out.
No Dragon? They have fucking WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, they edit
fucking stage.
Melina at the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal when she tries to do her split and falls completely off the apron is pretty damn bad too.
Matt Hardy taking a tumble over.
Yes.
That was on NXT, damn. That was even worse. It's like you're a coach. Behave.
Yep.
Yes. So this match, like I said, I thought the match was good. They did well with what they had to work with. Again, being that they had to kind of do a contingency plan because of the whole Marty Jannetty situation. Because originally it was going to be Marty. Okay, so Shawn and Marty have a really good match at 93 Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Where Bobby Heenan has a great line, by the way. I mean, this is getting off the beaten path, but Shawn Michaels throws Marty Jannetty into the turnbuckle post, and Marty's shoulder hits the turnbuckle post, and Bobby Heenan goes, "Ooh, that'll make your shirt fit funny." That's a great line. But then they were supposed to have their rematch at Mania, which didn't happen because of Marty, so you have the Tatanka match. Then they're giving him another chance, and they're going to give him the match at SummerSlam, and then that doesn't happen. So, I mean, WWF during '93 had to do all kind of contingency plans because Marty Jannetty couldn't stay straight.
And it makes you wonder why the hell they kept rehiring Marty Jannetty back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because every time that Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels got in the ring, they tore it up.
Right.
But was this a personal favor to Shawn? Like, was Vince
It
going
probably
to Shawn,
was.
hey, will you vouch for him? Yeah, I'll vouch for him, Vin. Because the way Marty makes it sound is like it was always Shawn that got him fired.
Right. Well, and Marty's Marty.
I think it was probably also Vince McMahon. You know how he is when it comes to an idea. He's like, God damn it, we left money on the table with that. Like,
we're going to do it. We're going to do this, God damn it.
You know?
So our next match is a WWF Tag Team title match. I do not, and even back then, I did not like the Natural Disasters as a babyface team. Smiling Natural Disasters sicken me.
How in the hell can you call a natural disaster a babyface?
Right.
Even on my note, it says, my notes say happy natural disasters are fucking lame.
Oh no, here comes a typhoon, here comes an earthquake. Yay!
Yay!
That happened.
Sir, you just got hit by a tornado in the middle of nowhere. How do you feel? I'm jolly right now.
I'm
Thank you.
jolly.
I want to buy his T-shirt.
All these Asians are dead.
I'm gonna go get a foam finger.
Those big fellas said it's okay.
Yeah,
The
you just wiped out millions of Asians.
Now that being said,
Wait,
on the Fukushima episode of the We Can't Wrestle podcast, that being said, natural disasters have what I think is a good tag match with the Beverly Brothers here.
This fucking match is boring as shit. It's
Really?
fucking
I like
terrible.
this match.
Hold on.
Sucks
I just want
balls.
to say something.
Fukushima balls.
I hate and detest the Beverly Brothers with every
Oh.
fiber of my being.
This is the time where Aaron and Archie get to fight.
I hate. He's looking at my bubble right now, like he's looking directly at me.
I'm not looking at your bubble.
His
That's
face
fucking
turned at
gross.
me. You turned at me and looked at me like that.
Goddamn,
hate-
Mike Enos is fantastic, sir.
No. Mike Enos is fine. Wayne Bloom is fine. The Beverly Brothers sucked ass.
They were from Shaker Heights, Ohio, sir.
I don't care.
And I'm
where
an
they were
Ohio
from.
person.
I don't care where they were from. Anything that had to do with the Genius and those stupid outfits they were wearing and their music was bad.
Their music was fantastic.
Bullshit.
The Beverly Brothers are cool as fuck.
I first saw Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom in GWF as their real names. They were there, I think, for a couple of weeks, a month, something like that. They were
They
great
were also in
athletes.
the AWA.
As the
And
Wrecking
the
Crew.
AWA as well.
And the Wrecking Crew was cool. And the Beverly Brothers are cool.
They popped in WWE, WWF, and here comes the Genius, and I hate the Genius with a bloody passion. Mainly because of what he did recently with... Why do I hate the Genius? Because he almost tried to stop Macho Man from going into the Hall of Fame, because if he wasn't going to be the one to induct him, nobody else should.
Well, that was like 20 years after he was the Genius.
Well, still.
I'm talking right now, 1992.
It was
The Genius was cool.
Yeah, it was a shit. He tried to be Mr. Perfect's manager. It sucked. They had to give Bobby...
He did a
it back to
backflip.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect hit a hole in one, and then Genius did a backflip, and it was fucking fantastic.
No. I hate the Beverly Brothers, and I hate the Genius. You'll never change my mind.
Hey Archie, the Genius character did result in one of the funniest lines Jesse Ventura ever said.
Which was?
Mr. Perfect's walking to the ring, and the Genius is walking behind him. And Gorilla Monsoon says something about the Genius with Mr. Perfect, and Jesse Ventura on WWF TV says, "I don't know about you, but Gorilla, but I wouldn't want the Genius walking behind me."
That's why Ventura was one of the goats. I can't lie.
That is a great line for kid-friendly. Yeah, that is a great line for kid-friendly WWF TV. That's
Welcome
great.
to Saturday morning
He's
TV,
going to
kids.
put the D in the B.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Maxon made a suggestive.
Yeah, you can't see it if you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah. So you need to join the Facebook group if you want to see those kind of things.
What I did was I made an OK sign.
No, don't fucking tell them.
My pointer finger and placed it in the middle of the pointer finger and thumb as to simulate butt sex.
We need to talk later. You can't give the goods away for free like that.
So next on this
Sonny knows
pay-per-view,
that.
if we're going to make our...
Gentlemen, if you have not joined the Facebook group, join it so you can see us live with Aaron simulating butt sex.
Butt sex.
Hashtag booty beef, hashtag butt stuff. All right. Next, we have the Battle of Demolition.
No, we do not.
Well, I'm trying to fast forward. I'm trying to fast forward through this because you want to be done in like a half an hour.
Okay, well, what we have next is me and Gene interviewing the Bushwhackers, and the Bushwhackers are funny as fuck. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The Bushwhackers And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Bushwhackers was a stupid gimmick.
No,
No,
These guys-
was fine.
Butch and Luke are funny as fuck.
What else
When
were
I
they
was
going
a
to
What
be?
anybody
Hey,
says.
When I was a kid, the Bushwhackers were my favorite fucking team.
hey
What
guys.
else were they going to be? Yes.
Hey guys, a legend has commented on our
Oh.
stream here. Mr. Rocky Turner says, "What's up,
What's
Goobers?"
up, Rocky
What's up,
Turner?
Goobers?
Rocky.
What's up, Rocky?
What's up, half breed? You racist motherfucker.
Sounds like a great wrestling gimmick, the half-breed.
Rocky says Luke is coming live. He
is.
likes the Bushwhackers too, right there, baby.
I remember being a kid watching the Royal Rumbles and being like, maybe Butch or Luke's going to win it.
Not when they spend 4 seconds in the ring.
Nope.
Now, see,
Never
here's
did
the
get to
thing.
see that.
I have no problem with the Bushwhackers because what else were they going to be?
Well, and not to mention, let's be honest. All right, here's where I have mad respect for the Bushwhackers. Okay, they were the sheep herders. They
Right.
wrestled. They wrestled through every territory in the country, every territory in the world.
Two
They
of the most
bled-
gruesome fighters.
Yes, they bled buckets of blood. They made tons of money. They went. Who can blame them for Vince McMahon saying, "Hey guys, you want to come to the WWF and
just
wrestle
act a fool?
And be
act
wholesome.
foolish?" Yes, and be
Right.
wholesome, and every match you have is going to be easy. You know,
Oh,
compared
yeah.
to what you've done, compared to
And
what you've
It's like, hey, do you want to keep cutting your head open every single goddamn
Or do you
week?
want to lick women and children every match?
Or do you want?
Yeah.
Or do you want to? Do you want to lick?
Whoa!
Do you want to lick some kids and
Right.
hang out with the fabulous Rougeau brothers?
Matter of fact, Archie will get a kick out of this. I mean, Aaron and Nate, you guys will too. The very first Hasbro action figures I ever got was the Bushwhackers.
Oh, God.
Those were the very first. Like that was.
Oh
I've
no!
killed so many Luke and Butches.
Oh no,
I've
guys!
killed so many
Oh
Luke and Butches.
yeah.
There
Hey,
they are. Hey,
guys.
those are minty.
Yes.
Hey guys! David Gold
Yeah.
says he came for the
For
butt
the butt
sex.
sex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Goldie. Oh
David.
my goodness, David! How could you drag us further into the sewer?
Right.
I mean,
You're supposed to take us out, David.
This is a classy show, David.
come in the front, stay in the back.
It's a sex mullet.
It's a sex thing.
Kyle, have you ever seen the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yes.
The married couple, the guy's sitting at the bar. He's like, "How could someone have put a playground next to something that smells like a sewer? It just doesn't make any sense." That's you made me think of that scene just now when you said "come to the front, go in the back."
Yep.
All right. So what's the next match? You
Now
said
we move
Demolition?
along to the Battle of
Repo
Demolition.
Man versus Crush.
This is not demolition. This is repackaged garbage.
This is
No,
Smash and Crush,
Demolition.
and it's Barry Darso. Anything Barry Darso, I like. I am partial to him. I even like the Repo Man character. I love
Yeah,
the Repo Man character.
People that say Repo Man sucks are fucking idiots.
No, I have no problem with Repo Man. I had a problem with Mr. Hole in One and the Black.
Yeah,
Hot
that was bad, but he was still a good wrestler, wrestling under a shitty
Mr.
gimmick.
Hole in One. It goes
Yeah.
with the booty beef butt sex stuff.
Yes, he does.
I do have a problem, however, with this version of Crush.
I don't.
I
you
do.
remember, Nate, if
I
you
like
remember, I asked
Crush.
you during WrestleMania 9 when we did the watch party if Crush was really from Hawaii or not. And you said he is, and I was actually
Yeah.
shocked because
hmm
I didn't know that he really was from there.
And see,
He wa-
when Nate and I were kids, we had our
Thank you, Rocky.
pretend WWF. You know, like we would pretend we were bookers and we'd have our little wrestling shows and shit. And Nate, who is usually my Intercontinental Champion,
It was Crush.
fucking Crush. Brian Adams is cool as fuck. I like
Only
Bryan
guy to
Adams.
have 3 Hasbros in
I-
three different gimmicks.
I like Crush Demolition. I like
I like
Crush.
Kona Crush.
I like heel Crush against.
I like Kona Crush.
I
Kona
did not
Crush
like.
had badass music.
I like Brian Adams as the Kiss Demon for that 1 week that he was the Kiss Demon.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Oh, turn yourself off.
So now we have the WWF Championship match. We talked about it earlier with the Ric Flair. Whose corner is Mr. Perfect going to be in? I said I would allude to it. This match was not as good as their Mania 7 match, obviously. It was a decent match. But Savage always got the best matches out of Warrior.
Yes.
Vince McMahon in this match, Savage hits an inverted atomic drop, and Vince McMahon goes, "Ugh, inverted pile drive."
Number one, it's the wrong move. Number two, it's the wrong name.
Right.
And Bobby Heenan shuts the fuck up. Right. It's like the only time in the history of Bobby Heenan where Bobby Heenan's like, I'm not going to say anything.
Right, I'm not saving you this time. You fucked up.
I'm not saying anything because this guy's paying the bills.
No, he knew there was no saving
nothing.
What was he going to say? It's an atomic drop? I mean, he was like, fuck you, you're stuck. Fix it.
Reverse pile drive.
Like, if any other commentator would have said that while Bobby was sitting next to them,
he would have cursed them out.
He would have destroyed them.
He'd have been like, fuck, nope. That is not a pile driver.
He would have been like,
the boss. I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, he would have been like, did you just have a minor stroke? What's his
right?
Bobby Heenan would have fucking destroyed that guy. But Bobby was like, nope.
My problem with this match, though, is the non-finish. You had a great match with Shawn and Martel, which had a double count out, and now you have this match with a count out.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I know they couldn't have put Mr. Perfect with either one of them because Warrior was looking to turn heel, and Savage was fresh off of Miss Elizabeth coming back. But like you said, Nate, there was definitely a lot of politics here where Warrior was probably like, well, I got to beat him again because I beat him at Mania. And Savage was probably, no, I already put him over once.
Then can we not skirt past the issue that the Ultimate Warrior picked an outfit that made him look completely naked?
He sort of looked like Giant Gonzalez's evil twin brother.
Like, put some ass hair on there, Warrior.
Yeah. He looked like Giant Gonzalez on Manscaped.
You know what he looked like? He looked like the Inside Out Man.
Yeah, the guy that used to come on PBS.
Yeah,
where he tried to teach
like, hey, look at my kidneys.
Yeah.
I'm fucking grotesque as fuck. I'm gonna give you nightmares.
But I mean, this was obviously
I didn't pay for this.
Set up. They obviously were looking to set up Warrior and Savage teaming together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know what an inverted nipple looks like? Why SummerSlam 92?
How about you want to learn what an inverted power driver is? We're going to show you
Vince McMahon.
Hey, I want to take a break because I have to pee and I want a cigarette.
I want a cigarette too.
So Aaron, I guess because you're determining the time here, are we going to have time to do Kevin Smith's talk?
It's only 12 o'clock.
Okay.
As long as we're done by 1, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, cool.
We only got a couple more matches.
Well, we'll take a break. I'll put up the "We're taking a break" banner. And
as long as we're done by 1, bitches.
Thank you guys that are joining us, recording a live edition of the. You're watching the behind the scenes where everybody's going to go pee and smoke right now.
Yes.
So
not on camera though. We promise you.
Yes, and look at that.
Smoke on camera.
That costs extra. If you guys want me to pee.
So the next match at SummerSlam 1992 is a real stinker. This is a time frame, and I said earlier in the show how I love 91 to 93 WWF. However, I really feel really bad for The Undertaker when I watch this time frame because they just threw every and I'm a fan of Kamala, early Kamala, like world-class Kamala.
Right.
87 WWF Kamala, but this Kamala, he was well into not giving a shit. And
no, this Kamala got Undertaker over.
I mean, I guess you could say that he got over the casket thing, but
was it the
He
disqualification?
He got the Undertaker gimmick more so than Jake Roberts did, because his feud before this was Jake Roberts, correct?
yeah.
Well, Kamala got face Undertaker over more than
Okay,
anybody.
I'll agree with you there.
Because when this guy showed up, Jake Roberts was like, whatever.
Well, yeah.
But when Undertaker showed up, Kamala was like, and it was freaking the fuck out, man.
That was good. That was a good impression. I can't lie. It sounded just like him when that happened.
Yeah. Kamala was the shit. And fucking Sugar Bear Harris got goddamn Undertaker over as he's fucking terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
fucking
Can I ask a
terrifying.
question?
What do you
is
say?
No, you can't.
Why is it that every fat black guy is called Sugar Bear?
Because
they
why
wanna
not?
They want to be cool and
Just
cuddly.
like
I don't know.
every girl under 5 foot is, they're like, I'm shorty. Like, you can't be fucking shorty.
Okay,
There's
well,
already-
fine. Every fat black guy is Sugar Bear. You two are fucking Pepper Bear.
I'm Golden Chris. Is what I am.
Why do I got to be Pepper Bear? I was happy being the Kewpie burger
You
guy. I
guys
was
look
okay
like
with that.
White Kamala.
I'm the big boy.
White Kamala. Well, then you look like White Slick.
Okay, I will take that.
He's the white.
Grab my goddamn phone right now and play Jive Soul Bro.
He's the white-
Dance like a motherfucker,
He's the white
You
soul
got-
bro. The white soul bro.
bro. And you're always talking to Stan.
Stan. Christ. But do you see what the point I was making about at this time? Like, they just threw every guy that could possibly have a shitty match at Taker. I mean,
Well,
like, what a test.
They were
This-
trying to throw monsters at him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and this is the problem, is that, like, it was the Hulk Hogan thing, where it's like, we got to have a monster heel
Right.
to go against Undertaker. It's like, but see, I've never been a big fan of matches like that. Like, I don't want to see Undertaker versus Kamala. Like, if I'm going to see a match,
Right.
I want to see, like, Shawn Michaels versus Kamala.
I
want to
love fucking Undertaker versus fucking Kamala. It's fun shit, man.
But the problem is, though, there's not much story you can tell. You can
Here's-
only tell.
Here's what I'll say. I don't mean to cut you off, Kyle, but I understand what Aaron's saying, kind of, with the way the Undertaker character was, with the big heel. Leading up to it, it was always fun, but the poor guy had to get in the ring with these guys
Well-
eventually, and
Here, I won't. I'm not going to frost it here. This is the second pay-per-view in a row where the Undertaker had to get a disqualification victory over his opponent because for some reason the WWE didn't buy into that he could beat these guys.
right, yeah,
Like,
You're not-
Giant Gonzalez. Okay, he was 8 foot. He was a monster. But you mean tell me the Undertaker couldn't have hit one chokeslam and beat him?
right. Well,
after
yeah,
a
and
match?
that's a fair point because
You know?
you threw the heels at Hogan, and Hogan beat him.
Right.
You
He
threw
hulked
the
up and
heels
beat
at
him.
Taker. You threw the heels at Taker, and then you give him
Right.
these.
It wasn't until like the late 90s that they finally decided, he could beat guys like Mark Henry and
Okay,
Vader,
well, I agree
and
with you,
Kane.
Pepper Bear.
Well,
the thing-
thank you.
To me,
Thank you. I'm going to call you Quick. You're not Slick. 'cause
I-
you're the white. I'm going to call you Quick.
So did a couple of my girlfriends, but that's besides the point.
There is no messing with Aaron, guys. If you try to go back and forth with Aaron, he's always going to make you laugh at me.
But see, I don't, like I said, they always try to make Undertaker feel like he was in danger. But it wasn't until Mankind came along
Right.
that you like truly felt like, holy fuck,
Right.
this
And
guy's
Mankind wasn't a 400-pound monster from
Exactly,
Uganda. He was a
exactly.
normal guy out of the boiler room,
Yeah.
They let him
He
have
was a
good matches with
body-having-
Sean.
A body have guy from
Yeah.
fucking goddamn Hoboken.
They let him have a good match with Sean and Bad Blood after that. They let him have... All right, look. Kane, in my opinion, is the only monster that actually had great matches with the Undertaker.
The feud with Taker, or the feud with Mankind and Taker, was the first time that they really they really let Taker show his ability,
right?
You know, and show his range as a performer,
right?
Yeah, but what I'm sorry.
Go ahead, speak.
What I'm trying to say with the Kamala thing is that Kamala versus the Undertaker on paper is fucking terrible. And I'm not saying it's not. Okay? And I'm not saying that this match is on the level of Taker versus Mankind or Taker versus Shawn Michaels. What I'm saying is that this match and this feud was the first feud to where somebody looked at the Undertaker character and was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, he's the Undertaker. You know what I mean?
No, what you're saying is Kamala's storytelling was able to get the Undertaker over better than anybody, and I agree with you.
I'm saying the guy that played Taker, or not the guy that played Taker. Sorry, the guy that played Kamala doesn't get enough credit for just being like.
No, you're right. You're right, and I'll be honest. See, the thing of it is, even without the Kamala in other matches. Actually, it has great storytelling from his facial expressions and the way he hit his stomach and the way he screamed.
That's what I'm saying. When the Undertaker showed up, Kamala for years was like, I'm the Ugandan savage. Nobody can beat me. But then all of a sudden the fucking Undertaker shows up and he's just like, nope. I don't want nothing to do with that. Like I'm eating people. He's like, I've been eating people and shit. Like I've just been eating fucking bones and shit. But this guy, he's fucked up. I don't want nothing to do with him. And he's like, no! And running away. It's fucking fantastic.
It would have been funny if he would have broke character and been just plain English. I ain't fucking with that guy. Get out of my face. I'm walking out. Fuck that.
Yeah. No! Fuck that.
He's like, no.
Lord Alfred Hayes comes over and like, Kamala, how are you feeling? Fucked up. Leave me alone.
Yeah, this guy, he's
how now, brown cow?
That's racist.
It's not racist.
It's racist because you said it was racist.
See, that's now, racist, again, right, Kamala.
My only problem with this match is the third match on the card that has been again a stupid finish. That's now a disqualification victory.
Every single one of these fucking matches is a stupid finish.
No, it's not.
No, there's three. It's three total. Double count out disqualification.
Our main event does not have a stupid finish.
It doesn't.
Every one of them except Brett and Davey is a fuck finish.
No, it's not. Nails and Virgil was clearly a squash.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's the match to lean on, Nate. What we're talking about shit finish.
Leaning. Disasters in Beverly had a clear finish that put the Disasters over. Crush got over on Repo Man, which did its job. So, keep shitting, but there's parts here that can't be shit on.
Nate,
so let's move.
Whose idea do you think it was to? Okay, we're doing Undertaker and Kamala. In between that and British Bulldog and Brett, let's put the Tonka versus the Berserker, because that was a dark match.
Yes,
Papa Shango and Tito Santana is a fucking dark match on this show too.
There's three, yeah, and
why?
The Bushwhackers and Hacksaw versus the Nazis.
No. Why the fuck do Papa Shango and Tito Santana keep getting put on dark matches? I think this thing would have been fantastic.
This is what I don't
Papa
understand.
Shango-
Like, I read all these great shows, and they're like, oh, yeah, there was this great show, and fucking Papa Shango and Tito Santana was the dark match.
Papa Shango, because he fucked up the end of WrestleMania.
Fucking put him on the show. It was
But-
probably good. I guarantee it was better than
hang on.
goddamn Nails
Here's the thing.
versus fucking
7
Virgil.
fucking years later, this is what they're
Palm your head,
doing.
Nate. Fuck
They're
off.
doing fuck finishes on Monday Night Raw, and it's the best goddamn thing in the world, and it changes the fucking wrestling thing. So I don't want to hear about like, oh, it's fuck finishes. That's 7 years later.
I guarantee Papa Shango versus Tito Santana was better than fucking Nails versus Virgil.
But in the scheme of doing a wrestling show, at this point, whether you can criticize it or not, and I will say, I like the Papa Shango character, and I think it didn't get enough of a push as it should have. So, in the scheme of things, if I'm telling this story, and if I'm looking at this pay-per-view from a logical professional wrestling booking standpoint, at this point I have moved past Papa Shango as a heel. I am trying to build Nails as a heel to go against a big babyface, which is the Big Boss Man. Why would I not have Nails come on this pay-per-view and have an effective victory to put him over?
Nails should have beaten up Tito or Papa Shango.
I'm absolutely not disagreeing with the.
Can you imagine that match? Papa Shango
Yes.
versus Nails?
I'm thinking about Nails beating up Papa Shango.
Right?
Here's your voodoo, Papa Shango. But no, do you guys see my point?
No, I understand.
Like,
yes.
at this point, Nails
I would have
needs to
rather
be.
seen Nails beat up Tito Santana.
And that's fine. No, I'm not disagreeing with the opponent for Nails. But what I'm saying is Nails, if I'm telling this story, Boss Man's out on an injury. By logical standpoint, if I'm a logical, smart wrestling booker, I want to put this monster heel on this pay-per-view with an effective victory, a decisive victory over a babyface.
Virgil is not enough.
I would have rather him beat Dwayne Gill at SummerSlam night.
Beating Virgil is not an effective victory.
No one in this conversation is debating fucking Virgil.
Now,
No
let me-
one
let
in
me-
this
let me make a
conversation is
point.
debating Virgil.
Let me bring up a
God
point,
damn
okay?
it.
So hang on.
Go ahead.
So we're talking about the fact that like most of the matches on this show were butt, and I can understand that, and I can agree
They
with that.
weren't.
But
No,
here's the
this
thing.
show is pretty butt.
But listen,
Until you get to the
hang on,
last three
listen. Is now the problem on every single pay-per-view that we have fucking main event caliber matches every fucking match.
Yes.
So the main event doesn't feel special anymore.
Not
Exactly.
all of them. I will agree with you. You are right about that. There are too many main event caliber matches.
And there's too much 50-50 booking.
But
if every single match on this card had been the level of Bulldog versus Bret Hart, it wouldn't have meant a goddamn thing when we got there.
well, no, because back then,
Okay, well, but we started
Excuse
with
me.
fucking Virgil.
back then in 1992, we only had 4 pay-per-views. So had it been every match as a main event, we would have appreciated it more because we had 4 more months to now with the Survivor Series.
And this is true. But I mean, you got to think though. Here's the thing: like they were, you got to say that Vince they were trying with Virgil. We know now that it was.
They were trying.
It was a horrible fucking
Look,
idea.
I'm going to look at it.
We know in
this scenario.
hindsight that Nails was a horrible fucking idea. That like that he
No,
fucking
Nails.
knocked the fuck out of Vince.
Nails.
Is what it
Nails
is.
was a good idea, but they couldn't finish it because he went off. But
But my
Nails
point
was
is,
a fantastic idea until he tried to rape Vince.
right. See, this is my problem. This is where I see
Which
it from.
which Nails tried to say Vince tried to rape him. I think Nails tried to rape Vince. But
This is my real problem with Virgil being on the show. I feel that it was done as a thank you or a favor to Ted DiBiase because Virgil went with Ted DiBiase everywhere.
and it probably was.
You know what I mean? So it was, hey,
this
could you
is
book?
my problem with
could you book
Virgil being on
Yeah.
the show.
You know,
Do you know what
Bruce
my
the
problem
fucking
with
Barber
Virgil being on the
Beefcake
show
was a
is?
hanger on of Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's
Right.
the way it is. You know?
well, again,
You
I would
guys-
have rather Nails beating the shit out of Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh, I wish anybody would beat the shit out of me.
His wife
But
does
you know what my problem with Virgil being on the show is? Virgil being on the show.
It was too legit to quit.
Virgil's garbage.
All I know is Virgil got a SummerSlam payday, so what can you say? I mean,
right.
Good for him.
Meat sauce. He got his meat sauce money.
He got it. So
he got it Monopoly money.
Enough of the undercard. Let's get to the meat and the potatoes of this show.
And I have nothing to say about this other than this is one of my favorite wrestling matches of all time.
The storytelling from beginning to end is amazing.
Yes.
So were you talking about Nails and Virgil or Brett?
No, Brett and Bulldog. This is one of my favorite matches ever, and might be where Aaron made his point that I'm partial to this show. This match is great. Brett, apparently, I mean, if you listen to all Brett's accounts of what happened during this time period,
Bulldog was on the cocaine.
Yes, this is a match that is no more testament to the amazing ability of Bret Hart than any other match he was ever in. He pulled a cocaine-addicted, fucked up Davey Boy Smith to one of the greatest main events in WWF history.
Or did the cocaine help the British Bulldog pull off such a great...
Whether he wanted to or not.
Here's the thing. When we have to appreciate the fact that Vince McMahon and all them
it kept the match going.
Right.
Realize that Brett and Bulldog could end the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about that. Like instead of the main event being the world title, they allow this to be the main event.
Yes. And it was, I mean, I don't know if anybody here can disagree. I know we've debated a lot during this show, but I don't know that anybody here can disagree how good this match was and how good this main event was, how good the build was, and what a smart decision it was if you're going to do a stadium show in Wembley to have this match on top of the card.
Not only was the build great, but the follow-up was amazing. To have Brett sit there and be like, I'm not going to shake your hand. And then finally at the end, but to add those little bits of pieces in there that they don't do anymore these days.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about this match was that it was not heel versus face. It was two faces. The storytelling leading up to it with the confliction of the family, Diana Hart-Smith trying to be there for her brother, but yet it's my husband. What am I supposed to do? It was a pretty big change to when Diana came back during the Shawn Michaels feud and tried to act, actually.
Yeah, wait, but no, hold on. Something that is really funny out of that, Archie,
Mm-hmm.
I love that you brought it up, because something that always makes me laugh every time I watch it is Diana Hart going, Shawn, I know you want me.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid.
And you're looking.
Can I say something? Hold on, guys.
Hold on, because you're looking at this unattractive woman going, nobody wants you, but shut up.
No, hey, hold on. I skipped something, or we skipped something.
Go ahead.
Before the Bret Hart
Piper with the Piper with the
Bobby
bagpipe.
Heenan says some funny shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck off. I'm gonna say some fucking Bobby Heenan shit. Finkel announces the fucking goddamn Highlanders, and the minute Fink's like, oh, here's the Highlanders, Bobby's like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I love hard rock. And then he goes, it sounds like somebody's killing a cat. And then he goes, oh, look at all these men in skirts playing vacuum cleaners. And then he's like, look at their hair. They have fantastic hair. If they're wearing those big fucking hats.
We need to give Aaron a segment called Heenan Says. And just have him roll off with
and then as they're playing, Finkel's like, and now introducing Roddy Piper. And Piper comes out, and Bobby's like, oh, is he going to break dance? And Vince is like, what? And he goes, Piper, is he going to break dance? Because there's no way he would play music with these vacuum cleaners. It's fucking fantastic.
Real quick, with Bobby Heenan and Roddy Piper, there's a moment at Halloween Havoc '96 when Piper comes into WCW, and you first hear those bagpipes. Bobby Heenan has the best reaction. He's just like, "Oh no."
Not this guy.
He's like, "Oh no."
It's in a Heenan way. Oh no! It's like you know he's dreading it.
Yep, he's like, "Oh shit."
And they bring out Diana after it. Like, why wouldn't they bring Diana Hart out? It's like she's the only one that doesn't look like a fucking goddamn broke down fisherman.
Come on now, Natalia is 10 times prettier than Diana.
She's not a daughter. I'm talking about the daughters of Stu and Helen. Diana Hart is the only one that you'd want to like stick it in. The other ones look like fucking fishermen.
In my opinion, Diana looked like a foot.
No, like Diana Hart, I'd think about it.
No.
I'd think about Diana Hart. But like Ellie and Georgia and all the other ones, they look like fucking fishermen. Like sunken eyes and shit.
One of the highlights of my night is Aaron trying to defend Diana and Archie just going, no.
No.
Poor Helen.
I love this show.
I love
You're sitting in a fucking white room. You would do her.
I'm in my living room.
Okay, I'm just saying, Diana Hart.
And that's gray. It's not white. It's the way the lights hit them.
Diana Hart, I think about it.
No.
The other Hart daughters.
I didn't like any of the Hart daughters. I'm not thinking about any of them.
And
Miss Elizabeth,
when I say stew, I mean
Sherry,
like rabbit stew.
Miss Elizabeth, Sherry. You know what? I'll give you one better. I would have rather have looked at Sapphire in that way, Dusty Rhodes' former manager in the WWF, than I would Diana Hart-Smith.
All right, well, Diana Hart-Smith, I think about it.
Thank you. You know what, Archie? I'm glad that you fucking brought up Sapphire because it brings me.
Nate, what are you laughing about?
He's laughing at my ADD.
I'm laughing at two things. I'm laughing at the fact that this is the first time anybody ever said, I'm glad you brought up Sapphire. Secondly, you guys were debating Diana Smith, and Aaron ripped a big fart.
That big fart.
I was like Diana Fart Smith. So juvenile. Anyway,
Kyle,
the fact is that for the longest time we've always heard that Dusty Rhodes.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, are any of you,
Aaron, you just totally cut Kyle off.
Kyle, go ahead. I have to hear this because I think I know what you're going to say.
All right, thank you. If everyone says that the polka dots was a fucking rib on Dusty, you know who else had fucking polka dots? Randy Rhoads of fucking Ozzy Osbourne on his fucking guitar. So don't sit here and tell me that the polka dots were a fucking rib.
If Dusty didn't want to wear that shit, he wouldn't have worn it.
No,
It's Dusty Rhodes. He would have told this man to kiss his ass and went back to the end of the way.
I guarantee you, the conversation between those two intelligent wrestling businessmen was, Dusty, polka dots will make you money, and Dusty going, let's make some money.
Let's
baby.
make some money, Daddy.
Got the WWF fuck you.
Because you know what? If you leave Dusty to his own devices, he's going to put a fucking chicken claw on his goddamn cowboy hat.
Right. And wear a mask and call himself the Midnight Rider.
That's right.
Exactly.
So it's not like he didn't do weird stuff, you know.
But anyways, going back to...
And all the Hart chicks, other than Diana, look like Stu.
Well, that's it for
And not even good Stu, not like beef Stu. I'm talking ran over the road rabbit.
Moving back to the match, They had a great match. They had
They
a
did.
technical war.
I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot on it other than, again, it's one of my favorite matches ever. I think there's high drama. The finish is great.
I think it ended perfectly with that. The way Bulldog rolled him up.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you don't want to see a finisher here. You don't want to see a submission or a power
And I
slam.
did blow ass. I apologize.
And we could never do justice to this main event, so go watch it.
Yes,
Definitely go watch it.
It's one of the reason I love this finish is because I love finishes in wrestling that don't in any possible way look choreographed.
Right. They come out of nowhere.
Yes, this looked like these two guys had a contest and Bulldog caught the fall, catching Brett by surprise.
And Brett jumping up afterwards and slapping the mat and going, fuck.
Yes.
Plays to that because you really feel like maybe Brett didn't want to put him over.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe he was high or he was pissed or whatever, you know?
Okay, well, and the finish is fantastic. Brett does say that he stole it, but he stole it from a match that he was in. And he said he stole it from a match that he had with Leo Burke in Canada, which nobody saw except the fucking hatchet-headed Hart family.
The Stu daughters.
That's the name of the episode, Hatchet-Headed Hart Daughters.
I said hatchet-hearted family. Hatchet-headed Hart family.
Headed Hart family.
The 3 H's of the 3H family.
Come ring the bell.
Aaron is being harder on the Hart family than Jerry Lawler ever has been.
This will be
the ghost of Stu Hart's going to visit you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate, Aaron, Kyle, and Archie here with you. And Archie, before we go on, yes, it was quicker than normal. Before we go on, we're going to talk about Kevin Smith films here in just a second. But first, let's talk about World Championship Customs.
Do we have to? No. I'm just Yes, World Championship Customs is a group that myself, Nick Laurel, Rocky Turner, Bobby Anders, and Josh Blevins started about 7 weeks ago. We are just under 700 members, so we're averaging 100 members a week. And it's pretty much anything custom. We've had people show off Marvel customs, Batman, Star Wars, horror figures. Mm-hmm. A couple of guys are starting to do sets, like, you know, entrance ramps and things of that nature. The beginning of Customania started to get today, the finals of it. We're down to 2 customizers. It's a Macho Man Randy Savage WrestleMania 8 attire figure and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat WrestleMania 3. So it's Savage and Steamboat, right?
Yeah, how perfect is that?
Going at it.
And I know I've said it a bunch, but this is my favorite thing you ever did, Archie.
I wish I would have kept it, because I'll never find that head again. It's one of my favorite I ever made.
It's fantastic,
although
buddy.
I made a flare today that kind of
I know that.
That 80s flare.
Oh, it looks fantastic, man.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
And I told you that.
I had a plan to use a Chris Jericho retro torso with Hacksaw Jim Duggan legs. So I heated it up with my heat gun, and I'm having my son break the torso off the leg. So he's trying, because my hand, I'm an old man. Can't work with my hands that well. So he almost gets it done, and the next thing I know, I look, and the neck and the head are bent now off the torso, and he looks like a giraffe. So I'm like, okay, we got to scrap that idea. My son's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry about? It's a $5 figure. I'll fix it and move on. It's not that big of a deal. So,
you put up that fucking Ric Flair looks.
That's what I'm saying.
To
move from what I was doing to what I actually did, and then I saw the way it looked, and I'm like, wow, this looks like the Galoob Ric Flair because of the way that he's standing. So, I mean, yeah, I'm happy with all of them.
Fantastic work and a fantastic group on Facebook. Also, I mean, we would be remiss if we did not say join the Asylum. And folks, the not only Asylum but the virtual Asylum. In this age of COVID-19, we don't get to go to wrestling conventions like we used to and meet stars and get autographs. And if you join the Asylum, the virtual Asylum, the Nerd Closet, World Championship Customs, and of course the We Can't Wrestle Facebook group, you can get the opportunity to meet, get autographs from. We just did one with Buff Bagwell.
And on the 30th, we have Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yep.
Y'all remember when they did the shit with NXT, and it was like Daniel Bryan and fucking Stu Barrett and all that shit, and like Daniel Bryan was like choking fucking Justin Roberts with his tie and shit, and they were like, "Oh, the NXT's here," and they like broke down the ring. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
What would be cool as fuck is in like a couple months, they should like let Raw play out, and then all the people they released, hire them back, and then just
have
let
them
them
revolt.
attack. Yeah, and then just be like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And all these people, like led by Rusev, are like, "Oh, we're taking over," and they're like, "What are you?" And they have all those people out there, and they're like, "We're the COVID-19."
Have 19 of them.
Yeah.
The only part I don't agree with is then we'd have to see Zack Ryder on TV again, and I would not like that one bit. But
I also, real quick, want to say with the whole World Championship Customs and everything else.
Sorry, the COVID-19 gimmick is cool as shit.
it is.
You guys, if you're
Suck
wanting
my
to
ass
get
if
in,
you don't like it. Well, go ahead, Kyle. Sorry.
all right. If you're wanting to get into customs, if you don't know how to get into it, they are very helpful.
Oh, without a doubt.
On the page, they'll tell you what paints you need, how to do it, everything. Especially here at the We Can't Wrestle Facebook group, the Asylum Facebook group, we're all friendly.
Without a doubt. We welcome everybody, and I had a guy message me privately. He's like, "Look, if you don't want to tell me, I understand it's secrets." I'm like, "What secrets? Go to Walmart, buy this paint, get a heat gun, or use hot water." And
you guys are very cool. Like, I made that.
Your ring was phenomenal. I don't care what you're saying. People told you it was phenomenal, and you felt.
I know they did, but I thought my ring sucked. But you guys said my NWA ring looked good.
That is the thing,
and I appreciate it.
As far as wrestling podcasts go, as far as wrestling groups go, and Archie and I have a lot of experience with the politics and the bullshit that goes into these groups and these podcasts.
Yep.
And I want to say just real quick before I go on this, as far as fellow wrestling podcasters and the guys, and I'll be honest with you guys, I communicate with a lot of fellow wrestling podcast producers and etc. The only guys in wrestling podcasting that I will vouch for are Barry Rose and Jeff Bowdren from Breaking Kayfabe. And of course, I mean the Asylum, obviously, because I'm part of that.
Right.
But something that I'm not involved with, Barry and Jeff are amazing. Other than that, whatever. As far as groups, the only two that I will personally put my stamp on are, other than my own, obviously, are WCC and Asylum. And the reason I say that is because in our groups, in World Championship and the Nerd Closet too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave Nerd Closet out. Rocky,
no, of course.
But Nerd Closet, Asylum, We Can't Wrestle, and World Championship Customs. We're working together. We're not. Nobody is here to fuck each other over.
Nope.
Nobody is here to have a pissing contest.
We're not bosses. We don't have a higher up. We're all the same. It's everybody working together to build this community.
Absolutely,
the way it's supposed to be. You know,
there's no egos. There's no There's no elitist.
You know, we'll make a joke here and there. We'll crack a joke and go, okay, boss man. When someone tells us we got something we got to do,
but
we know that's the furthest thing from the truth.
And that is friends. That's just friends busting each other's balls,
right?
You know, and that's what we do.
I'll be honest with you, and Nate brought it up: politics in these groups and things like that. If this ever, for me, becomes a job again, I'm quitting and I'm done, because it doesn't need to be a job. This is a hobby, And
Yes.
I'm meant to have this as an escape from everyday life.
And if it
right
is a
now, you
job,
need that.
well, and I'll be honest, if it is a job, and it does wind up being profitable for all of us.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Archie, Aaron, Kyle, Rocky, David Gold, John Majewski, Nick Francis. These are the guys I want to be doing this with.
Right.
And for anybody that's a member in any of these groups, know this. We are all, full disclosure, we're all sincere.
Right.
There's no bullshit. There's no bullshit.
See, this is what I always say and why I like doing the Facebook Lives and doing the podcast with you guys. This is really us. None of us are acting. None of us. Nate drinks beer. He doesn't just do that because he's on live to make himself look cool. This is really Aaron's attitude when he wants to say something. This is my feeling. This is Kyle's feeling. We're not doing this to amp it up just because we want followers. We're not doing it because feel, Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I would say also is, like I don't want to downplay anything that how anybody feels about it or whatever. At the end of the day, it's really just a bunch of guys trying to have fun and communicate with each other,
right,
and just bullshit with each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you want to get like super butthurt about something, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be like,
no, you're 100%
dismissive
right
of it, but it's like at the end of the day, just fucking relax and have a good time.
Allow me to be real here. If a $30
like you guys, okay, like Nate knows me better than anybody else, obviously, because he's known me since the day I was born. And Kyle knows me fairly well because he's, after Nate, probably my best friend. And Archie, you've known me for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know you, but I mean, we all respect each other. We all know each other, you know?
Don't take the shit so goddamn serious.
Right.
Just fucking have fun, relax. And
my point, if a $30 figure, if somebody tells you they bought a figure for $30, if that's going to ruin your day, then you don't need to be on a wrestling group or in a podcast group or anything like that, you know?
It's like fucking jerk off in the bathroom, man.
Here's the thing,
Jesus Christ.
Honestly and wholeheartedly, these are our opinions. I may hate a wrestler that you absolutely love.
Right.
I make fun of. I despise Orange Cassidy. You might like Orange Cassidy. That's fine.
I'm okay with
Nobody
him.
likes Orange Cassidy.
I like
pro
him.
wrestling.
He's not bad.
It's subjective. We can all have different opinions.
Right.
Just because we don't like certain people or we don't feel a certain way doesn't mean that you're wrong or we're right.
Right.
We're right. You know.
This guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I pointed wrong. This guy over here. He don't like Ronnie Garvin. I like Ronnie Garvin.
Who doesn't like Ronnie Garvin?
Me.
You don't like... That's another episode, Nate. That's another episode. I'm not even...
Yes, because we want to talk about a guy we all like, and that is Kevin Smith.
Look at Nate trying to be all professional and shit.
Transition, motherfucker. Transition.
Your favorite Kevin Smith movie of all time.
Okay, hold on. Now, Archie and I were actually talking about this earlier.
Last night, yeah.
My favorite Kevin Smith movie, because and this is what we're going to get into. It holds a special place in my heart, and it is one of the best. Huh?
Is it Jersey Girl?
It's not, but I love that movie.
I thought you were going to say it because, you know, you got a little girl.
Yeah, who's now 21 and still my little girl.
Yeah.
But no, my favorite Kevin Smith movie is Clerks, and it combines with a couple of things, and I'll go into the story real quick. Firstly, anybody that knows, for my shoot job since I was 16 years old is retail. There is no better movie or no funnier movie to a person in retail than Clerks.
Not even supposed to be here.
Mr. Chulies? Chulies gum, man.
The fucking cat. God, that cat gimmick is great.
Oh, that cat shit.
What do we call the cat? What do you call the cat? Annoying customer.
Yeah, when the cat's like shitting.
Yeah.
And that fucking goddamn dude just like looking at it like
When the guy's reading the National Enquirer and he spits on him, it's like, yeah, I would have done it too.
the Chulies gum representative.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
funny as shit.
I'm gonna buy a pack of Chulies gum. Wait, you're a Chulies gum representative? After all that.
And for those that aren't in retail,
Cigarettes.
Aaron will totally vouch to this. For those that aren't in retail and don't understand, we really do hate our fucking vendors that much. Fucking assholes. But Clerks is my favorite Kevin Smith movie because of that, and that movie was completely undercover when it released.
Right.
A friend of mine, I lived in Toledo, Ohio. I was raised in Toledo, Ohio. Detroit, Michigan is, what would you say, Aaron? About 2 hours, 2:10?
Yeah, 27 miles.
Okay. A friend of mine and I heard about this movie.
I could get the Google map if I needed to.
This was 94. I was just 16. I had my driver's license. We heard about this movie. We thought it was great. We thought it would be cool. But it wasn't playing anywhere in Toledo because at this point, Kevin Smith was still very underground. We drove from Toledo, Ohio to Detroit, Michigan. We went to the Palace, not the Palace of Auburn Hills, the State Theater in Detroit, and watched Clerks. We drove 2 hours to watch this movie, and it was worth every bit of the 2 hours we drove to watch it. So it holds a special place in my heart now, and I will contest later if anybody has a debate. Clerks is my personal favorite, but I think Kevin Smith's best film is Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy is a great movie, but I'll disagree with that on best film.
Okay.
Hands down, to me, my personal favorite movie, Kevin Smith, is Dogma.
I love Dogma too.
That's his best film. That's his best film.
I don't think any of us are going to disagree on the fact that any of these movies are great.
Right.
Me
And
personally,
that's what I'm saying. Like, movie or whatever you want to say, Clerks is great, but as a film, like a cinematic, like you're gonna sit down and you're gonna watch a fucking movie, it's Dogma. That's his best fucking film.
from the opening line of where he's talking about the fact that God has to have a sense of humor because look at the platypus.
Right.
And he's like, I'm sorry for all the platypus fans out there.
You know Jesus?
Or when they're like, oh, people just don't fall out of the sky. And then Chris Rock's just like, and then Jay's like, big titty blonde women just don't fall out of the sky.
No.
But the fact,
You know Jesus? You know Jesus Christ? Of course I do, brother. It owes me $14.
the fact that they took everything that people think they know about religion,
It's the rule of the road.
Right.
flipped it upside down because of the simple fact that, like I said, it's not only you have God who's a female,
Right.
you have angels who are trying to get back into heaven. I mean, to me, like I said, they don't make fun of Christianity. They don't make fun of religion. They give you a different way to think of it.
Right. They don't make fun of it, but they do know what they know. Kevin Smith knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
He went to the
Now-
edge and then let you hang there.
Now, on the scale of his underground movies, I think the other favorite I have is Red State.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Red State. Nate,
Yeah.
or-
I was watching a Kevin Smith comedy because he does these stand-ups where he tells stories. It's not really comedy, but they're funny as hell. And he talked about Red State, about directing it, and I'm listening to this at like 4 a.m. while he's talking about this, and then he mentions the ending scene where there's like this giant horn, and you think it's the rapture in the movie, and I'm like, shit, I gotta find this movie. And I swear to God, the comedy show ended at 4:30, and I began checking Netflix for Red State and found it and watched it at 4:30 in the morning, and it was like.
His
Wow.
best,
John Goodman is amazing in that.
John Goodman is fantastic in that movie. And the guy who plays the priest, I never wanted to kill somebody so bad in my life as much as I wanted to kill that man.
If we're not going to talk about his movies and talk about his, stand up or fucking, live performances, my favorite thing is Kevin Smith talking about his interaction with Prince.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, him talking about his interaction with Prince is fantastic, and I didn't want to jump the gun or whatever, but honestly, my favorite Kevin Smith movie, and Clerks is amazing, Dogma's amazing.
They're all amazing.
They're all fucking amazing. And like with Clerks, like when I watch Clerks with friends that were my same age, and all this shit, and me and like these two dudes and these three girls were watching this fucking movie, and we're like, this is fantastic, and we should not be watching this fucking movie. You know, it's like when you watched a Kevin Smith movie at the age that I was, which I would have been like 13, you're watching this and you're like, I shouldn't be fucking watching this. Like, where are my parents? Like, you guys should not be allowing me to watch this. It was fantastic.
And then 13-year-old you is going, here comes Randall. He's a berserker.
And the older I've gotten, like, I watch these movies, okay, and I identify with them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say this right now. I feel like I'm like a Randall. Okay? Where if somebody would bitch at me right now, I'd be like, you fucking rented the movie, asshole. Get the fuck out, you know?
Right.
Archie just told me earlier tonight in a chat that Aaron is Randall and I am Dante.
That's the way I feel. The attitude, the way I see the attitude. Because Nate, I said it in a group chat earlier tonight. Nate was there. I said, I wanted to take the day off from Facebook and the Facebook groups today, but I'm Dante right now. I'm not even supposed to be here because a bunch of bullshit went on and I had to be involved and everybody pulled me in. And David Goldthwait is acting, you're acting like you had to go into work. And I'm like, well, some days it is work. It has to.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
Like, but yeah,
and
no.
I'm just like, seriously, so Archie, you said I'm a fucking Randall?
Yeah. It's a carefree attitude to tell somebody to go fuck themselves.
and I can guarantee that if the fucking house burned down tomorrow,
Aaron would be like coming in socks.
No, like if the house burned down tomorrow, Nate would look at me and go, "What happened?" And I'd be like, "Terrorists."
Right.
And I'm
like Clerks too. and I don't want to jump the gun, but Clerks 2 is funny as fuck.
It is, but it has its moments.
That is a fantastic fucking movie.
But hold on, though. See, Clerks, the original Clerks, the whole movie was great. Everything they did, everything they said. Clerks 2 had its moments, but I felt like, and I'm going to sound stupid, but it insisted upon itself. Like, they just felt they had to do a part 2. They made it funny, but it wasn't like the first one.
Clerks 2 has...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when Clerks 2 opens, okay, and you watch the movie, the Quick Stop burns down.
Right.
And that is why it's fantastic, because Dante shows up and he knows that Randall left the goddamn coffee pot on.
Right.
But he looks at Randall, and Randall goes, Terrace.
Okay, so...
It cracks me the fuck up. It's fantastic.
I want to get to the meat of the matter here. So here's my thing about Clerks 1 and Clerks 2. To me, no, I'm going to let you finish, Aaron. But
okay, well, I was just going to say my favorite Kevin Smith movie is Mallrats. Mallrats is amazing.
It's fantastic.
I'll make mine
that
short and sweet.
speaks,
Mallrats
that
is my
speaks
favorite
to
too.
my age group.
Yes.
That speaks to the 37-year-old Aaron. Mallrats is fucking fantastic.
See, the thing I love about Kevin Smith movies, and Mallrats is my favorite too. It's between Mallrats and Dogma for 1 and 2. Clerks is just in my heart. I will always love Clerks, but
okay. So
about Kevin Smith movies is if you look at every movie, it's always the same people. Like the guy that was in Clerks that does the egg thing and is checking the eggs and everything is the same guy who now hosts his podcast on the TMC.
Definite consistency.
It's always his buddies in these movies, and that's the great thing about Kevin Smith.
Speaking of Mallrats, real quick, you guys are talking about who everybody is. I'm just the son of a bitch still trying to find that fucking sailboat.
Right? Right?
That is me in a nutshell. I'm just trying to see that fucking sailboat.
It's a schooner. Schooner is a sailboat.
So hold on for clarification. For clarification, I said my favorite is Clerks, but I think the best film is Mallrats
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Right.
Aaron said best film is
Dogma.
Favorite is
Mallrats.
Okay. Archie.
Favorite is Mallrats. Kind of tossed up with Dogma. Best film, I think, is Clerks, in my opinion, because it just had such a grainy, independent feel to it, and it still tends. I mean, let me. However many people watched it, listened to this podcast. If you find Clerks on at 4 a.m, you're not going to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it stands the test of time. I don't care who you are and where you live. You're watching Clerks.
See, hold on, Aaron. I can say this about Clerks, and it's going to be dirty. I'm sorry. Don't shake your head, Nate. But as a dude, I got my first during Clerks.
Was it because of the girlfriend or the other girl that he was talking? I forgot the name, but was it because of the girl he was trying to get or the girlfriend?
Well, no, I just got my first
Aaron got his first head during Clerks.
While Clerks was on, it was in a camper. I was like,
didn't you say you were 13?
Huh?
Didn't you say you were 13 during Clerks?
Yeah, I got my first.
Rock on. Nice. All
Kevin Smith be proud.
Yep. Definitely.
I'm handsome as fuck, man.
Now, Kyle.
Yes.
Okay, what's your favorite, but what's the best film?
Dogma, and to me, the best film is Red State.
Okay. Now, that being said,
cop out.
Before I got onto my pedestal here, I wanted to get everybody's take. I think that Clerks and Clerks 2 are the perfect evolution of Kevin, because Clerks is gritty, like you said, Archie. It is grainy. It is indie. Clerks 2 is his I guess, take on a good Hollywood comedy romance. However, there are so many endearing moments in that movie. Like, the fucking scene is not one of the best scenes ever in movies. A Kevin Smith scene featuring ABC. You know, one of the coolest directors ever, featuring one of the coolest, we don't want to admit it's cool, but the coolest songs ever.
Now, do you know what the funniest Kevin Smith movie is?
Go ahead.
Jay and Bob Strike Back is the funniest Kevin Smith movie.
Man, I don't know what you just said.
George Lucas gonna sue somebody.
George Lucas gonna sue somebody's ass.
Jay and Bob Strike Back is the funniest goddamn Kevin Smith movie ever fucking made. It's not his best movie, but
the
it's
reboot,
the funniest fucking
the
one.
reboot was very good. The only thing that blew my mind is I did not know that was Kevin Smith's daughter playing Jay's daughter until the ending of the movie. And when I found out that was Harley, I went, Jesus Christ, this dude is just as old as I am because his daughter's old.
But to speak to something you were saying, Nate, earlier about Chasing Amy, the best moments for Kevin Smith being Silent Bob is the fact that every once in a while
I got a hot thing about girls that say a boot.
And when he talks, it means something. Right. That monologue at the end of Chasing Amy is fantastic.
This, to me, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I love Jersey Girl. Jersey Girl is an amazingly beautiful, endearing...
Jersey Girl's a fantastic movie.
It is. It is an amazingly beautiful, endearing...
If you don't like that movie, you don't like fucking movies. Right. Fucking Ben Affleck does a good job in there.
Carlin
does a fantastic job.
Oh, when he's... I mean, it's... But I just... To me, Chasing Amy...
Even J-Lo does a good job in that fucking movie. That's a good goddamn movie.
It is. Chasing Amy, though, it explores so many things. It explores racism.
Amy's a great movie, too.
It explores racism.
Not to get off topic, but J-Lo in the movie Hustlers is fantastic.
I've never seen that movie. I've never seen that movie.
Well, she looks, for a 50-year-old woman, she looks hot as hell.
Jenny on the block.
What's a Nubian?
Or, if you talk to our parents, their coming of age thing was like Catcher in the Rye.
Right.
Yeah.
Ours is, the Kevin Smith movies.
Well, and again, talking about that, and that's what I'm saying, like with
that fucking scene in goddamn Chasing Amy, okay, where they're at the Comic-Con or whatever, and fucking dude's talking about fucking Darth Vader, and then his mask comes off, and he's a crusty old white man, and the fucking Nubian thing. That's some of the best goddamn writing ever.
It is. That whole movie is some of the best.
What's a Nubian? Shut the fuck up.
And that's what I was saying. The thing about that movie, and the reason I say it is Kevin's best work as a filmmaker, is that of all his films, that movie exposes prejudice and shits on prejudice in amazing ways. Comedic ways, but amazing ways, because it literally, every time there is a prejudice in that movie, there is an intelligent counteraction for that prejudice in that movie.
Absolutely. And Kevin Smith has one of the funniest, greatest stories ever.
And Joey Lauren Adams is fucking hot.
We talked about Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I agree with you.
And I know that we're getting towards the end.
Archie knows.
So I want to share the story because I'm sure all of you guys will find it funny because we're all Star Wars fans. Kevin Smith's talking about when he had Carrie Fisher and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Mm-hmm. And
he walks up to her and he's like, when I went and saw Return of the Jedi, she's like, let me stop you right there. I'm glad that I could help you like so many other people. find your lightsaber.
That's horrible.
Thank you to our princess.
Yes.
The thing about it is, I think I said this to Nate about a week ago. It might have been David Gold. I'm not exactly sure. I talked about these a lot. The mark of a good movie is when you can quote 5 or 6 lines from said movie. And with Kevin Smith movies, it's not 5 or 6 lines. It's like 10 or 12.
The whole movie.
I mean? The whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Like Aaron saying earlier, he's at Buy Me Toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's halfway to Find Me Toys right now. It's fucking great.
Why are you arguing with me about where the cookie shop is? Well, because it's not in the food court. It's like, why would you have this argument at 9:30 in the morning with somebody about where the food court stops? You know.
I love the scene in Dogma when they finally meet Ben Affleck and
on the train.
Right on the train.
Yeah.
They're sitting there smoking the pot. And he's like, you know, it was like, oh, that is so much like somebody who's never smoked, you know.
Yeah, and when they kill all of them, like on fucking Dogma, when they murder all the people on the train, it was just like, my aunt, like they're singing the fucking Martin theme,
right?
Like, nope, like, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
That's fucking fantastic. Like, nobody else would ever even think about that.
So why did you move to New Jersey? Well, because John Hughes made a movie about so city in New Jersey. And guess what city doesn't exist?
See, Nate just put his headphones back on. Nate, what I just told them is one of my favorite fucking things ever in a Kevin Smith movie is on Dogma when they murder all the people on the fucking train, and when they're walking off, they're just like, my aunt, and they're just singing the Martin theme. It's fucking funny.
And
it's super fucking dark, but it's so goddamn funny.
There are parts of Dogma that you watch and you go like, why am I watching this? Because it gets really dark and really satanic, and then all of a sudden...
But it's fucking
fantastic. And then all of a sudden you have tears in your eyes.
Right. You know, and then Alanis Morissette is God, and it's like, what?
I'm going to finish it up with this thought. And I think this is going to be a consensus of the 4 people on this show, maybe a lot of our listeners, I don't know, and then they may disagree. And we will get into the other guy on another show, definitely. I want to address it. But I think that, you know, there are, since film debuted, since anybody ever started making movies, there are probably 3 to 4 generations of movie makers. In our generation, and you guys can tell me if you disagree, but I think the 2 best movie, and I'm not going to say Lucas, because I am obviously partial to Star Wars because I'm a geek and I'm a Star Wars geek.
Well, can I?
So you say that like that's a bad thing, Nate.
But no,
we're all geeks.
What I'm saying is,
can I say my 4?
Well, hold on just a second. Let me finish. I'm throwing George out because of the fact Lucas.
Steel?
No, Lucas. George Lucas. He's out.
Fuck him. He made shitty movies.
However, what I am going to say is, like,
I was being a heel. George Lucas made good movies, guys.
Tarantino and Smith.
Oh,
I agree with that.
And we're going to do Tarantino on another episode. Don't worry.
Oh,
but,
thank you.
Can I say my 4 guys?
Mm-hmm.
My 4 movie makers?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
I hope Tarantino and Smith are both in there.
Can I say my 4?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. My 4. 1. Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
2. Quentin Tarantino.
All right.
3, Martin Scorsese.
Good. I agree with that.
And then 4, Vince McMahon.
We make movies, pal.
He's gonna puke.
He's gonna yeah.
And if I didn't have to say Vince McMahon, I'd say like
Chris Columbus.
Spielberg.
Good choice.
The thing about Kevin Smith movies and everything else was for us, we're all nerds. We're all comic book fans, and to have these movies have that culture in them was something for us that was like, wow, this is us. This is for us. We know we're not alone.
Right.
Exactly.
So, but I'm sure we're getting ready to wrap up here.
You're right.
So, real quick, I said it before on the YouTube. We've been
On the YouTubes.
But again,
you're talking like a fucking old lady or a Russian person.
Okay. Well, anyways, I want to send out a sincere thank you to anybody who's ever served. With Memorial Day coming up, please don't forget why we have Memorial Day. For those who gave everything, so that way we can watch Kevin Smith movies. We can watch pro wrestling. We can get on this podcast.
And you can, I was going to say, and you can watch our ugly faces.
Yeah.
I'd love
Because people have
Just-
given everything and sacrificed everything, so that way we could have freedom. So thank you to all of you. Anybody
Yes.
serving now, anybody that has family members who have passed or served,
pancakes.
from all of us, thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Aaron, say your goodbye. And thank you to all of you that have joined us on this
I would
experimental.
love to thank everybody that has served me eggs and bacon and scrambled eggs and fucking
and scrambled
goddamn
bacon. Shut
I have-
up.
scrambled bacon and sausage.
I have 1%. I have 1% left. Hurry.
Anybody that has brought me breakfast meats and foods, I appreciate it.
Aaron, you know who you are.
You're a goddamn godsend.
You know who you are.
I appreciate it.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you are.
I know who
Ron
I am.
Swanson.
I am me.
You are Ron
I
Swanson
am
from
me
Parks
that
and
is he.
Recreation.
Huh?
You are Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation.
Oh, God.
To a T.
Archie has 1%. Archie, say goodbye.
Thank you all for joining us. Sign up for the YouTube. Sign up for the Facebook. Join all the groups. If you want to be involved in the Hacksaw Jim Duggan virtual show on the 30th,
Do it.
thank you for your support.
I will be a part of the Hacksaw virtual.
You're cute. You're cute.
And Hacksaw and R.
Well, thank you, Quick.
Hacksaw and I will definitely be talking about the tuxedo matches with Ted DiBiase in Mid-South.
Archie's an amazing QB baby.
And
I'm gonna
he's
ask
an,
Man with little stuff on the hair, you're like a QB baby.
and he's an amazing human being. And thank you, Archie,
and,
for being here.
Archie, I love you, buddy.
I love you, too. I love all of you guys. I'm happy to be
Nate.
here.
I love you too.
I love you, man.
Kyle, you're
Yeah.
okay.
I'll let you see too.
You ball busted fuck. Thank you all for joining us on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. And we will see you all next time.
Suck my ass.
I'm leaving it. Fuck it.
Suck my ass, bitches.